How's it going, everyone? My name is Michael SK, and welcome back to Higurashi When They Cry, Chapter 8. Not going to spend too much time here. We got to figure out which fragment we can jump into next. Mostly because I am tired and it's late at night, which is a terrible combination. I don't know if we can do this yet. I'm still going to assume no. I'm actually not really sure what we did in the last episode. It's possible that maybe we can do this one. I doubt it. I don't think we can do this one. Not yet. I don't believe we can do that one because we don't have the other stuff. And we haven't done the park. So I'm not really sure which one we can do. We might be able to do this one. Maybe. We can't. Okay. Well, I tried. You know, the idea was there. My idea was that because, you know, Koizumi-sensei, we talked with him, but he's not dead. Not yet, at least. Alright, so people don't have fevers yet, or at least I don't think so. I don't know. I don't know what we can do here. We can't do this one, I don't believe, because Tomitake has not made a promise. Man, I am actually unsure of which ones to do, and me being tired is not helping anything. We can do this one. Wow. Okay. I don't know what activated this, but I'll take it. Plans for Satoko-chan's dissection are moving right along. I don't want Satoshi-kun to be sad. I feel pity for Satoko-chan and her harsh circumstances. I'm still struggling with how much I have to sacrifice for the sake of research.
入江
えああ、すみません。どうなさいましたか、リカさん。
僕の友達がずっと長く入院していますが、その子はHinamizawa症候群ではないのですか？
それを誰に聞きましたか？
僕がそう思っただけです。どうなのですか？入江、SatokoはHinamizawa症候群ではないのですか？
Rika-chan is on our side. There's nothing I have to hide from her. Actually, I probably shouldn't keep anything from her.
はい。両親との不仲と、その両親の突然の死。彼女の心には、それは一度に受け入れるには、あまりに大きすぎる出来事でした。それが引き金になったのかもしれません。
検査の結果は？
レベル5です。上辺は非常に安定して見えますが、情緒は非常に不安定です。先日からサトシ君の見舞いも謝絶にしました。
サトシに聞きましたです。サトコの心の傷がなかなか言えないと気にしていましたです。入江、サトコはどうなるのですか？
Satoko-chan is Rika-chan's best friend. How can I tell her that we're planning to dissect Satoko-chan? However, even if I don't say anything, she already knows that Satoko-chan's situation is extremely poor.
入江は僕の体を調べてたくさんのことが分かったのではないですか？
ええ、それはもちろんです。症状を抑える効果が期待される試薬も現在いろいろと試しているところです。
それをサトコに与えることはできませんのですか？
一度は考えました。しかしかなり危険です。体力や精神力に余裕がある検体に試し、少しずつデータを集めていこうという段階です。サトコちゃんのようなもう後がない人間に試せるような代物ではありません。
では入江、その薬を試さないならサトコはどうなってしまうのですか？
She spoke as if aware of our plans for Satoko-chan. No, she must actually know. I've told her about most of my research. She's more mature than she looks, so it'd be easy for her to figure out.
僕はサトコが 1% でも助かる可能性があるならそれにかけるべきだと思いますです。
非常に危険な賭けです。最悪の場合、彼女は即座に末期発症し、錯乱するか、さもなければ人としての心を失い、一生を焦点の合わない目で壁を見て過ごす体になってしまうかもしれない。どちらも、それはあまりに過酷な運命です。
全身麻酔で痛みを感じさせずに眠ったままを殺す方がずっといいというの。
Oh, there's the real side of Rika. At least the side I like.
入江、よく高野が言う通り、医学に 100% はない。でも、このまま放置すれば、聡子を待ち受ける運命は 100% の絶対の死しかない。ならば、どちらにかけるかは明白なはず。
そうですね。その通りです。
But I know too well. C103, the medicine that's being tested, may not even be something that can be used. It may not even have a 1% chance of success. Worse, I can't even imagine what kind of tragic end she'd meet if her body rejects the medicine. And that's why I'm tempted to believe it'd be far more merciful to feed her favorite food, let her gently fall asleep, and after that dissect her while she dreams. I don't want to admit it, but Takano-san is right. I'm being indecisive and showing a lack of resolve. How effective could the medicine made by someone like that really be? So because it was medicine I created myself, I couldn't even believe there might be a 0.1% chance of success.
僕は入江の作った薬なら信用できると思いますです。
She spoke as if she read my mind. Surprised, I raised my head up to look at her, and found her giving me a reassuring look I never would have imagined someone her age capable of.
入江は人の命を左右するとても辛い仕事に耐えている。本来、人の生き死になど人間がどうにかしようというのがおこがましいこと。その重圧は背負った者にしかわからない。
Her voice hasn't changed, but I feel like Rika-chan is admonishing me, almost as if she knows what it's like to be responsible for human lives.
その重さは罪の意識と後悔の重さを加えて決められる。だから入江はまだまだ危険な薬を聡子に試せない。そうでしょう。
Takano-san said the same thing when she criticized me earlier. I'm being criticized again.
でも、だからあなたになら聡子を託せると思う。
え？
人の命はとても重い。その重みに耐えかねるのは、あなたが人の命を大切にしたい心があるからこそよ。そんな心がなくして、どうして人を病気から救えるというの？高野みたいに、人をモルモットとしか思ってないやつの治療薬なんか、試せると思う？
I shouldn't have laughed, but I couldn't help it. I felt like I should laugh.
高野とあなたがそれぞれに薬を差し出したなら、私は入江の薬の方が治るように思う。だって薬は人の心から生み出されるんだもの。自分の身から滴り落ちる雫で人を救いたいという気持ちが人の病を癒してくれる。
おっしゃる通りです。医者が薬のことで諭されるとは。
私は自分の体を他でもない聡子のために差し出した。私の体から注射針で抜き出したものは全て私から聡子に捧げる薬の雫。その雫から命の本当の重さを知り、日々後悔と自責を忘れないあなたが何かを抽出してくれたなら、それが聡子に効かないわけがない。
Do shrine maidens take confessions? If they do, she's doing a great job being a shrine maiden at this age.
これは賭けになります。聡子ちゃんが果たして受け入れてくれるかどうか。
聡子に伝える必要はありません。聡子にとってHinamizawa症候群を知ることは心の深い傷をもう一度えぐることにしかならないのだから。
So someone in the comments, by the way, everybody who comments and adds to the, I guess, lore and whatever else that may easily be skipped over, especially like, or by a, buffoon like myself. Somebody in the comments actually said that it's very, very likely that Satoko did indeed kill her parents because of the state that she was in with the syndrome. And that probably worsened things even more. Because after she snapped out of her delusions, or whatever state she was in, well, now she's level 5, in an even worse environment, things are just looking really, really terrible. Absolutely terrible. So in Chapter 7, when she learned that, yes, she has a disease that does so-and-so, it's very likely that she thought about what may have actually happened to her parents. So again, thank you to everybody who comments, because these are things that I never would have pieced together without your guys' help. And thank you to whoever actually commented that, because I can never remember. But it is something to consider about Satoko, and really her entire situation as a whole. She probably struggles through this syndrome more than any of the other characters, as it has hit since a very young age. What did she mean by those words? When I realized it later, I was surprised by how thoughtful and perceptive she was.
解剖計画を中止させましょう。北条聡子に対する C103 投与実験に変更します。せめて 1% でもうまくいく確率が上がるように努力します。
大丈夫ですよ。絶対にうまくいきますです。
そんな楽観してはいけません。
大丈夫なのです。もう決まってることなのですから。これはフルデ神社の巫女様の心強いお告げです。ファイトオンなのですよ。
You gotta love the funny phrases that Rika comes up with. I know I do. I didn't understand them at first, but then I watched the compilations of her saying Nipa and Meep on YouTube. This was actually before I knew of Hanyu, so I always wondered who that other character was. So can we do H170, the discontinuation of the dissection and Idie's motive to become a doctor? We should be able to do H170. C103's implementation on Satoko is going well so far. It wouldn't make any difference to me if the experiment failed. However, Idie's extraordinary focus and attention to the experiment has avoided Satoko Hojo hallucinating or turning into a vegetable during the experiment. And surprisingly, we see prospects of her returning to normal life despite reaching level 5. C103 still has many issues, but this experiment proved that even a person who has reached level 5 can be cured. I didn't believe in it at first, but I guess I have to acknowledge Idie's hard work. Only Idie could have done this. He was tormented by naive humanism and didn't want to make mistakes, and that is why he felt obligated to cure Satoko Hojo. The reason why I dislike Idie isn't because of his achievements or abilities, but because of that weakness. But this time I had to praise him for it.
入江所長のレポートを拝見しましたわ。脱帽と言わざるを得ません。
いえ、私の研究者としての職務を果たしたに過ぎません。その結果、医者としての職務も果たせたなら、私にとってはそれに勝ることはありません。
今やさとこちゃんは私たちにとって最も重要な検体になったと言っても過言ではないでしょう。何しろレベル5に至りながら生還した初めての人間なのですから。
その通りです。彼女を社会生活に復帰させ、経過を見ながら長期観察に切り替えていきます。彼女には毎週日曜日にこちらに来てもらって検査を受けてもらえるよう話をするつもりです。
Everything's beginning to line up.
しかし C103 を日に3回も注射する義務と毎週日曜日に検査に訪れる義務を彼女にどう説明されるおつもりで？彼女には何の病気の自覚もないのに。
そこは今うまく納得してもらえる話を考えています。今考えているのは私の研究論文に協力してもらうというものです。栄養剤の注射を毎日してもらい、毎週日曜日にその効果を検査する。その代わりに研究協力費としていくらかを支払うという感じです。
I think it's literally how it plays out, to be honest. I guess Idie is determined to cure Satoko Hojo no matter what. He seems determined to keep her off the dissection table. He and I are in different positions, but I don't have any complaints about his naive ideals so long as they translate directly into passion for our research. If his plans can be put into effect and produce a different result than the dissection would, then they'll still be useful to the overall understanding of the Hinamizawa syndrome. I have nothing against Satoko Hojo. It's only that I see her as a research specimen. If she can be useful in that capacity without being dissected, that's perfectly fine with me.
日に3回もの注射となれば、これは本人だけでなく、保護者の方の同意も不可欠です。確か、ご両親が亡くなってからは、おじ夫婦に親権が移っていましたね。そちらに一度、相談に伺おうと思います。メイへの怪しげな研究協力を承諾してもらえればいいのですが。
I'm gonna be real with you. I think they'll roll with it just because money's involved.
大丈夫ですわよ。そのための研究協力費ですもの。月に10万か20万も振り込んでやれば大喜びしますわ。
Yep.
それだけの予算はありますか？
もちろん、二郎さんを納得させる資料を作りさえすれば。
わかりました。それは私が作ります。あと、さとこちゃんに振動をかけないよう指導しておく必要もあります。レベル5をぶり返すことになったら大変ですからね。噂では、おじ夫婦はとても現金な方だとか。金銭で丸め込むのは可能かもしれません。それらの指導も私の方できっちり行うつもりです。
I've heard Satoko-chan isn't getting along with her aunt and uncle. I never thought that'd affect us in any way, but now Irie has to deal with them. Maybe he's developed some kind of sense of responsibility or duty as her guardian. I don't really care. The more responsible he feels, the more progress our research makes. That'll be a plus for me.
それはそうと、H17 番台についてのレポートを拝見しました。
ええ、入江所長の成果に比べれば足元にも及びませんが、一応の研究
本当に皮肉ですね。彼女を錯乱から救う治療薬を作っていた研究所で、その傍らでは彼女を直ちに錯乱させる危険な薬が作られていたのですから。
Irie wasn't involved in the H170 research. That was my work. And in fact, even if I asked him, he wouldn't have agreed to be involved. This dangerous reagent, this item was developed during the process of uncovering the mechanisms behind how the pathogens controlling Satoko Hojo's brain can induce derangement or paranoia in their host. By the way, guys, just a reminder, I'm really tired. To put it bluntly, injecting H170 into a patient with Hinamizawa syndrome forced them to express terminal symptoms. It threw the brain into a simulated state of agitation, intentionally forcing the pathogen to grow unstable. If we continue researching this, it will be possible to drive anyone with Hinamizawa syndrome violently insane at any time. Studying the mechanism behind that will help solve the syndrome's mysteries. So this study on H170 will be extremely important to future research and future plans. Also, this medicine has military applications as the client requested. At this point, there's absolutely no use for it. But once our research progresses a bit further, this H170 could be spread at the right moment to cause a certain type of reaction. Compared to a killer virus, it seems like a useless pathogen, but there's no way to detect it in a dead body, and it makes it look as though the person just went insane spontaneously, so it must have some useful applications. The Marco Polo Bridge incident threatened to end research on Hinamizawa syndrome before. A historically important incident like that couldn't have been created by a killer virus. But it's possible with Hinamizawa syndrome. The elders of the Alphabet Project, the sponsor for our research, can think of whatever they want about that. I don't care how they use what I've learned. My purpose is to solve the mysteries of Hinamizawa syndrome and to make people realize how important this research is. Also to make people acknowledge my grandfather's accomplishments and achievements. Any military applications were just byproducts of the process that I didn't care about.
クライアントにとっては、高野さんの成果の方が喜ばれるでしょう。来期の予算取りが楽になるかもしれませんね。
情熱だけでは研究は続けられませんものね。先立つものがなければ。
これだけの潤沢な資金を提供してくださるスポンサーさんには頭が上がりません。これだけのお金が公費から出ているのですから。
日本という国は私たちが想像しているよりずっと豊かなのかもしれませんね。公費は公費でも表に出せない黒い公費でしょうけれどね。
EDA has no idea what I had to go through to get that money. Anyway, our research is going extremely well. We don't know what we'll find out about Hinamizawa syndrome, but I'm sure every mystery will eventually be solved. I can hardly wait. What the syndrome indicates is that humans are simply empty containers, and what we believe to be our will is simply the actions of parasites that live in our brains. If that mystery was solved, it would have a greater impact than anything else in history. That is a truth which nobody wants to believe. This is an achievement my grandfather predicted back during this time. I know now. I know the reason why my grandfather was so fascinated by his work. Alright. Okay, we'll do one more. I'm really tired. Really tired. We'll get through this. I'm glad that we're seeing the yin and the yang here of the of what's being developed in this research. It's very interesting. Okay, so I don't think we can do anything else here, but I think we have some stuff that's opened up. So we have the results of the research, but we don't have the park accident. We don't have anything about Satoshi, unless we've learned about his responsibility of being a big brother. I don't know about that one. I don't think the execution order has occurred yet. We haven't come across that. I don't think the death of Koizumi-sensei has occurred either. And we don't have the completion of C117. So what do we have going on here? We don't have Tomotake's promise. I don't think we have any of that. What do we have here? None of that. None of that. Actually, we have the watermelon, but the Ryugu family's move, we don't have that one yet. So, Satoshi's awareness of his sins, the mysterious death of the Furude couple, not yet. We're not ready for Keiichi Maibara. We don't have the red capsule quite yet either. Or do we? I feel like we do. Why does a red capsule seem familiar? Did we do a red capsule? No. Okay, that's this one. That's why it's familiar. Okay. But we need the third year's curse of a Yashiro-sama. We're not there yet. Can we do this one yet? Oh, wait, no, we can't. Oh, yeah, we can? Okay. Fuck me, I guess. Satoko-chan's dissection plan has been scrubbed, and we are getting ready to administer an almost totally untested medicine, C103. This experimental medicine suppresses the production of a certain type of hormone, and in doing so, it will stop the transmission and the syndrome triggering Satoko-chan's condition. The mechanism of Hinamizawa syndrome is as follows. The pathogen takes over the frontal lobe of the patient's brain, and then induces increased responsiveness to paranoia. As a result, a patient voluntarily carries out excessively defensive behaviors to a problematic extent. If this induction can be cut off, then it'll be possible to save terminal patients from becoming deranged, But it only cuts off an induction, so it's not really a cure. Ironically, the brain is an organ that learns. Once the brain has learned to be excessively paranoid due to the Hinamizawa syndrome, even after the pathogen is eliminated, the brain doesn't simply unlearn that paranoia. In short, even if the pathogen doesn't induce derangement, the patient will be directed to such emotions of their own volition. Thus, it is impossible to completely escape the nearly deranged level 5 state. The proverb, "a burnt child dreads the fire," is a good example of this. Even after the burn on your tongue heals, the fear of being burned by food again remains. When it ends up being a good thing, we call it learning a lesson, and we call it trauma when it doesn't. We predict Satoko-chan's treatment will take a significantly long time, requiring both medication, such as administering psychotropics, and mental care like counseling. We have to slowly unravel her mind's solidified paranoia while also suppressing the syndrome's induction of derangement. This is the treatment plan for terminal patients like Satoko-chan. However, as we are going to stimulate the parts of her brain that affect her emotions while they are being stimulated by the pathogen at the same time, it's possible there could be unexpected side effects. Both her mental and physical strength hold the key to our success. We were going to begin the experiment when she regains her emotional stability and physical strength, but someone who threatens to disturb her emotional stability has been coming here every day. Higurashi, the sly old detective from the Okonomiya Police Department. He thinks everything, from the dam protests to the dismemberment murder of the construction manager, is an organized effort secretly conducted by the three families of the village. He even thinks the accident involving Satoko-chan's parents wasn't an accident, and that's why he keeps coming back so he can talk to Satoko-chan.
何度来られても、さとこちゃんへの面会を許可することはできません。彼女は両親を亡くしたショックで打ちのめされているんですよ。それを汲み取ることはできませんか？
いやいや、本当にちょっとだけお話が聞ければいいんです。
I understand what you're saying, but I'm not gonna be paying attention to that.
そうお時間を取らせるつもりはないんですがね。令状が必要だってんなら申請しないことはありませんが、私も北条さんの容体を気遣っているからこそ令状を取るなんて無粋を避けているんじゃありませんか。
令状を取ってまで一体何をさとこちゃんに聞こうとしているのか、私にはさ。
今回の転落、事故ではなく、
北条夫妻がダム戦争以来村中から嫌われているという話は知っています。ですが、わざわざ旅行先まで追いかけて突き落とすというのは少々突飛すぎはしませんか？
まあ事故でもいいんですがね。ならばどうしてもよくわからない嘘があるんです。どうして嘘が必要なのかって考えるとですね、こりゃ事故ってことはありえないんじゃないかなって思うんです。
嘘とは？
いえね、北条聡子さんの言う事故当時は車で眠っていたっていう話、ちょいと話がおかしいんじゃないかなってそう思うんです。
Satoko-chan claims she was asleep in the back seat when the accident took place. By the way, that was my arm popping if you heard that. So she didn't get out of the car at the viewing platform. When she woke up, she didn't see her parents, and then she found out they had fallen off the cliff.
それのどこに嘘があると言うんです？まさかさとこちゃんが実は眠っていなくて両親と一緒に展望台へ行ったと、そういう意味ですか？
そうです。北条聡子さんは眠ってなんかいなかった。両親と一緒に車を降りて展望台へ行ったんです。
I'm suddenly hit by a terrible possibility. If what Ushi says is true, and Satoko-chan is saying she didn't go to the viewing platform even though she actually did, it's terrible to even imagine.
何を根拠にそうおっしゃっているのかわかりません。それになぜ嘘をつく必要がさとこちゃんにあるんですか？
それなんですよ。なぜ北条聡子さんは嘘をつかなければならないのか、それの本当のところを教えていただけないと、こいつはただの転落事故ってことでは済ませられないんです。
どうしてさとこちゃんが嘘をついているとお思いなんです？
今回の事故は所轄が違いますので、白川署さんが関係者から事情聴取をしているんですがね、その調書を読んでみるとどうにも引っかかるところがある。
引っかかるところとは何ですか？
北条聡子さんの主張によるならば、彼女は両親に展望台へ行こうと誘われたが、眠たかったのでそれを断り車を降りなかったという。そして彼女はそのまま熟睡してしまい、相当の時間が経ってから目を覚ました。そしていつまでも戻ってこない両親に不安感を募らせ泣き出した。その声を聞いて巡回中の公園作業員が話しかけて事故が発覚したことになっています。この時ですね、公園作業員の証言では 両親が崖下に転落したと彼女が先に言ったというんですよ。ところがこの時、北条夫妻が止めた車の位置からは問題の事故現場ははっきりと見えたわけじゃないはずなんです。いや、注意深く見れば柵が破損していたのを気づけたかもしれない。でもですよ、目が覚めたら両親がいないのを知って真っ先に崖下へ転落したというのは尋常ではないと思うんです。普通は両親が自分を置いてどこかに散歩に行ってしまい戻ってこないというはずなんです。転落する直接の現場を見てもいないのに、両親が転落したと第三者にいきなり言うのがね、このあたりどうして彼女は両親が転落したと確信したのか、その経緯を教えてもらいたいと思いまして通い詰めているところだったんですよ。入院前に私も何度かお尋ねはしているんですが、記憶にない。当時は混乱していたと、まるでどこかの政治家みたいな答弁でしてね。私はじっくり話をしてみる価値があるかなって思っていたんですよ。
Yeah, this is all setting more in stone the fact that she more than likely did it. It kind of lines up like that. And it is upsetting to think about. That terrifying possibility has turned to certainty in my head. I'd assumed that her parents' accident triggered her terminal symptoms, but no. Satoko-chan had already gone terminal, and just before the accident, her heart was filled with paranoia that drove her mad. She was under a lot of stress because of her bad relationship with her stepfather, She was also being scolded by her mother for not being able to get along with him. If that made her paranoid, made her think her parents considered her to be a bother and were going to kill her, when they went to the viewing platform, she must have thought they were going to push her off the cliff. Then a tragedy took place and she pushed her parents off instead, although she considered it to have been self-defense. I'm certain of that, because I know Hinamizawa syndrome better than anybody. This accident isn't an accident. It isn't a crime either, like Ushi is thinking. It is simply a tragedy. When I talked to Satoshi-kun about the family, I was even more convinced. He told me even though Satoko-chan refused to open up to her stepfather, he had tried to communicate with her. It's true that their relationship didn't go well in the beginning. Satoko-chan caused trouble repeatedly and even called the city's child abuse hotline. At that point, they received guidance from the Child Consultation Center, and they pointed out that the problem lay in lack of communication between daughter and stepfather. So the stepfather took a parenting course under the social worker's guidance, and awkward though it was, he made efforts to communicate with her. Satoshi-kun noticed his efforts, so he tried to talk to Satoko-chan about it. But Satoko-chan didn't notice them at all. The excessive stress she was under triggered terminal symptoms, and she couldn't understand her stepfather's remorse. On the contrary, her stepfather's change created even more mistrust within her. As a result, they went to enjoy the beautiful view of Shirakawa Nature Park as a family and to share in that joy, yet that humble ordinary family's wish couldn't even get through to Satoko-chan. What a tragic misunderstanding. Satoko-chan stayed in the car telling her parents that she wanted to sleep, but then she got out and snuck up behind them. I bet he heard her footsteps. He pretended not to notice her, thinking she was doing that to surprise him. It's sad just thinking about what must have ran through his mind. While he thought he had finally gotten through to her, she was actually approaching him with the intent to kill. But that's not Satoko-chan's true nature. It's the disease. Satoko-chan isn't the only one who is to be pitied. Her parents are its victims too. And now she thinks that she's a criminal. Judgment and punishment are required for crimes with malicious intent. But what she really needs is understanding and sympathy. And no one has that understanding except for me, because I know about Hinamizawa syndrome. I am the director of the Irie Institute, but I've never behaved as such or exercised that authority. But I'm going to do it for the first time since taking the position. I'm not doing it as the head of the Irie Institute, the secret research organization. I'm doing it as a doctor, so I can protect Satoko-chan.
白川自然公園の聡子ちゃんの両親の転落事故ですが、この件事故で決着するように山犬のお好みさんにお願いしてもらうことはできますか？
ええ、そんなことお安いご用ですわよ。山犬はそういうものの隠蔽や捏造に最も特化した部隊ですもの。確かに早くあの転落事故が事故ということに決着しないと、警察がうちの実験体に近づいて邪魔ですものね。
そういうことです。特に大石さんがこの件から早く引き上げるようよろしくお願いします。試薬投与実験のデリケートな時期です。不要な心労をかけるのは適当ではありませんので。
まったくですわね。山犬にそのように伝えますわ。警察にもすでにコネクションがあるとのことなので、圧力をかけるよう指示しましょう。近日中に白川転落事故は事故として確定することになると思いますわ。
With that, it was declared an accident. If only it really was one, it would have eased Satoko-chan's soul. Getting rid of the pathogen can't heal that wounded soul, nor can it erase that tragedy, or the tragedy that had already taken place. All I can do is my best, so the day she regains her smile comes sooner. Damn, okay, yeah. That really did set that all in stone. That is, unfortunate. I think there were a lot of clues to really go with that, but as we learned about all the different Watanagashi deaths, it kind of all, like, melded together as, oh, yep, 2 people died here, and so on and so forth. Never really looking into how, only the why. Like, it kind of makes sense why the construction guy was killed, right? And then just so happens one of his killers was also the one that had gone missing. It makes sense why the couple, the Hojo couple, would die together. Because of how they were ostracized after what they had basically put themselves in as a position against the rest of the village. Who died on the the third one, that was Rika's parents. So I'm beginning to think that you know what, I don't know what to think. From the little bit of hints that we're getting out of these things down here, it's sort of looking like where is it? I don't even know where it's at anymore. It's looking as if that Rika's mother is becoming suspicious. I think we had already taken care of that fragment, so I don't know which one it is. Oh well. So yeah, Rika's mother is definitely suspicious or is acting strange for whatever reason. And it might be because she is seeing her husband maybe as an enemy. And something happens where the village sees, oh, the father's an idiot. The mother is also an idiot because she's delusional. And then they get wiped out by the mountain dogs. Maybe something like that, I don't know. But I believe that is what will come up next as the medicine continues to get worked on. I, again, have no idea which one we can now jump into. I think we can actually do Distrust of the Mother of a Queen. Yeah, that's what it will be. And then we can jump into a fragment. Shit, which one is it? I don't think we've done it then. If it's Rika's mother that's acting a little sus, then that might be the one that we want to look for, right? Unless we really did do it. Man, I just can't remember anymore. And I'm also, like, really tired. So, yeah, I don't know. Oh, well. It's okay. We'll figure out what we got to do. Oh, right here. So, I'm assuming that in this next one, we'll see why. Yeah, this next episode, we're going to see what happens to them. We're going to see what really goes down. I mean, if anything, it's really going to be clearing up our doubts as well about, or at least my doubts about what really did happen on the fourth one. I think I think Satoshi did it, and I think that was actually like revealed to me as well, heavily hinted in chapter 5 that Satoshi did kill the ant. So yeah, this is all gonna get really fun as we continue to verify things, and I'm totally on board. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that fancy jazz. I'm gonna go to sleep now, or at least I'm gonna get this episode up. Then I'm gonna go to sleep. Good night, everybody.